Two, go. Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We're calling this People Talking. It's two people talking about health and wellness. I'm Ron Rodriguez with Jackson VIP Transformations here in Jacksonville. And today, our guest is Tracey O'Neill. She is a national board certified health and wellness coach with Baptist Health and the owner of Live Well with Food. Tracey, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm hanging in there.
Yes.
We're managing through homeschooling and working from home and just adjusting to this new reality like everyone else is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody is adjusting. Again, we're a couple of weeks into this, so hopefully everybody is settling in. The shock of it all has maybe subsided a little bit. Maybe you're getting a little bit, getting over a little bit of the anger and frustration of the inconvenience of it. But now we're kind of settled in, and now we want to start to formulate plans about how we're going to manage our life, our health, our family, our time in this period as we wait out this pandemic. We will get through this. We'll get through this together. So what do we do in the meantime? That is our discussion today with Tracey. So Tracey, just in case there are people watching who don't know you, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So hello, everyone. I'm Tracey O'Neill, as Ron said, and I am a certified health coach. And currently, as he mentioned, I have a business that is divided between two major components. And so the first component really involves the corporate wellness piece, where I provide on-site health coaching for various corporations here locally in Jacksonville. And that's in contract with Baptist Health, the PATH program, which is a corporate wellness program. And aside from that, I have my own private business where I see clients one-on-one. And my overall goal in working with people is really to just help people create sustainable lifestyle changes by improve their health. So we just want to, sorry, I said that wrong, I jumbled that up. But we're looking to work with people to create change and lead to improvement in meeting their health and wellness goals that they have for themselves. And part of the reason I got into this and why this is so important to me is my own experience. So I come from a corporate background. My undergraduate degree was actually in supply chain management and logistics. And I worked, this really is a second career for me. My first career was working for a Fortune 50 company at the time. And I was with them for over 16 years. And so I was always thought I would be climbing that corporate ladder and staying in that, various management positions with that same company. I was highly stressed during that period of time, and I knew it really could connect to people that are working full time and trying to start and raise a family, and what all goes on and trying to balance everything. So it was probably in 2011, I had gotten in a severe car accident, and I kind of look back on that as a triggering moment, or a turn of events in my life, because after that, I started to, even though I came out of the accident physically okay, I started to see a major deterioration of my health, a kind of spiral out of control at that time. So at that time, I had a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old, and I started to present with neurological issues, digestive health issues, anxiety, and things like that. And it all kind of seemed that there was this culmination of stress that had built up, and maybe the car accident was just all it took to throw me over the edge, to see this my health start to spiral out of control. So there was about a 5-year period that I spent bouncing from doctor to doctor, specialist to specialist, and doing all kinds of testing, and never really getting any real good answers. I was just told we ruled out all the major really bad things, but we really can't tell you why you're feeling the way you're feeling. So I jumped into, at that point, just so much research and exploration on nutrition and health and wellness, and became so passionate about it. I was spending all my time on it. And I was starting to see that I could finally stop kind of the negative decline of the symptoms and everything I was feeling, and change that trajectory for the better by what I was learning. And so that's when I did a health coaching certification in 2015, with an organization called the Functional Medicine Coaching Academy, and
Oh, excellent.
started, yeah. So just kind of needed to find a way to get what I was so passionate about, and turn that into a career in a way I could use that information to help others.
That's awesome. Great story, by the way. One of the things that um, I find when I talk to other health professionals, trainers, wellness coaches, nutritionists, across the board, there's always some sort of triggering event that kind of turns their world around, and more times than not, it focuses them to look at their own health situation, and they take matters kind of in their own hands. And
Right.
a little bit about that, like what kind of things were you going through in your mind to really get yourself motivated to take back control of your health?
Yeah, I mean, I was just at a really like low point, where I was struggling with fear and overwhelm, and kind of struggling to move forward at a time when I wanted, I was a new mom, fairly new mom. I wanted to enjoy that period, and I just was like, I just came to a point where I was not going to tolerate that anymore. Like, I knew there had to be a better way. So so then I, went through some of the things that now I've created into a program, and the way I work with my own clients is just kind of getting to that level of assessment. Like, where are you currently? What are you feeling? What are your symptoms? What is your perception of your health? You really need to kind of inventory and understand where you're at, first, where are we starting from? What's your baseline? And then, I got to envisioning where I wanted to be at. So the second step would be really that kind of goal setting piece. I watched took in a lot of information on the importance of setting the outcome goals that you desire to have happen, and how you can set actionable steps to get there. So you need to set some goals and picture, where do you want to be? When for me, a lot of it was centered around, when was the last time I felt my best and when I felt well, and I really wanted to get back to that place. And so then, of course, I dived into really paying attention to nutrition, what I was eating, and my stress levels, managing stress, and really implementing a self-care routine that served me and really helped support me during that time. So it was a culmination of a number of different factors that really came together, that helped me ultimately, change the path of where I was going.
I love it. I love it. A self-care program that you developed. We're going to get a little bit into that, but as I am looking at Facebook Live, all right, if you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat, and I'll get them to Tracey. Again, hashtag live if you're live, hashtag replay on the replay. Give us a thumbs up so that this video gets out to more people. We're all kind of in this same place right now, being home, staying at home, and self-quarantining. And so we're going to talk about, what do we do in these next couple of weeks here in Florida? They're anticipating the spike, the peak to be happening in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So what should we be paying attention to? Okay, so if you have questions about those things, go ahead and post them in the comments. Give us a thumbs up and let us know that you're here. Just real quick, our 30-day private Facebook group for Jack's VIP sign up is happening now. Want to let you know about that. So if you're interested in going 30 days, no long-term commitment, to get you through this time till your gym reopens, okay? Till it reopens, and it will. Your gyms will reopen. Let me know. Post in the comments, message me, and we'll get you going. Tracey, let's get into some actionable things that people can do. We talked about the time frame that we're at here in Florida. you know, the next 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to be looking at possibly the peak or the spike. Um, Talk about some things in terms of mindset, in terms of health and nutrition. What things should we be paying attention to at this time?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, at this time, it's challenging, and you know, before all of this happened, you know, I always had the thought with working with people that are struggling in any way that we want to move from surviving to thriving, right?
Yes,
But
yes, I
but
love
now
that.
it's really important because we truly are all pretty much in survival mode, you know, and there's no getting around that. But we could, you know, take advantage of the time to set up practices that can allow us to thrive in this environment as best as possible, or it can go the other way. You know, a lot of the habits we develop during this time cause us to slide back, you know, into old habits, and you know, take away from the progress that we're trying to make in our health, you know, before this happened. And you know, we may have been in a good place, and this kind of took us for a loop and threw us off, way off track. So that it's important to consider that. So yeah, I was trying to think, you know, what would be some of the best quick tips we could share today. And the first one I wanted to start out with is just, you know, this is going to look different for everyone, but you want to start out with a self-care routine that's personal to you. So this could include, you know, so many things, you know, are involved in self-care. So it's almost, you know, like a really big bucket to talk about. But what I like to tell my clients specifically is to make sure you're doing something daily that helps induce that relaxation response and really get your body in that activating your parasympathetic nervous system, where you truly are in a state of relaxation to the point where your body is in the mode where it can repair itself, where it can heal. And if we're constantly running on, you know, in a stressed high, you know, where our body is releasing cortisol, we're in a chronic stress state, the only way to get out of that is to activate the parasympathetic nervous system and calm that down. And so there's different ways we can do that. Yeah, did you have a question,
I
Ron?
just wanted to just interject real quick. What this is
Yeah.
absolutely incredible. This is amazing. I am inside the chat. I am posting notes in there on what Tracey is sharing with us today. Okay, so it'll be in there as she's talking. I will go ahead and continue to post that in there. If you have questions, go ahead and continue to post them in the chat. Thank you, Tracey.
Okay. No, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, you know, some ideas, you know, for that. So things like meditation, there's deep breathing exercises that will do this for you. It could be yoga. I tell people sometimes that say they're not able to meditate or don't feel like it works for them. You know, I always encourage you to keep trying, and there's a lot of guided apps out there that help guide you along so you don't feel like you're completely doing it on your own. But there's other ways to generate kind of that state of relaxation in terms of the activity that you're doing. So if there's something that really brings you joy, it could be like, for me, and I would also say something that you lose track of time in. You know, what do you do that you just, you don't even know what time it is? It seems like, you know, you're just so immersed in it, what you're doing, and you love it. And for some, that could be,
right?
what's that? Sleeping. Well, sleeping's really the only other time you're going to get that, you know, relaxation, activation of restoration. But when we're awake, what else could we do? But yeah, sleeping is obviously very important.
for me here, when I'm with Elijah at home, and it's he and I, his nap time is my nap time. So we go down at the same time. We try to keep that consistent as a way for us to kind of rejuvenate and you know, get ready for that second part of the day. So I like to nap when he naps.
I love it. That's smart. That's smart. You know, we definitely tell moms with new babies to do that, but you know, that if you have the opportunity to get that rest, you know, when you can, yes, take it. Absolutely. You know, for me, when I not that I'm that great at it, because it's been hard to maintain year over year, but if I'm gardening, like if I'm out in the garden, you know, and really just working on it, like I get that sense of a relaxed state, that comes over me. And in doing that, I come immersed in it. So those are ways where you're kind of going to be in that, calming state. But I always ask people, like, what is it for you? And you try to form your own, own activities that will cultivate that for you. It could be prayer, silence, like I said, meditation. There's so many ways you can do it. But the point is that you want to be thinking about how you can, as much as possible, get into that relaxed state during the day, especially during these stressful times when we're kind of feeling chronically in a stressed, we're opposite. We're running on opposite from that.
Awesome. So start a self-care routine, yoga, meditation, napping, gardening, if that's you're into that kind of thing. What else? What other things do we need to be paying attention to, Tracey, during this time?
Yes. Okay. And before I get to that, I just was going to say that we don't have to talk through it now because it's a pretty big file we could get immersed into. But the self-care wheel that I did share with you, if you want to share it after the fact, we can bring it up really quickly now when we're talking about the self-care. But this is just a tool I have to use with clients, and Ron's going to make this available to you. It just divides self-care into physical, psychological, emotional, professional, different areas where you can go in. And not all of these will resonate with everyone, but there may be a few that stand out to you that you could implement today. Some are one-off things, that you may do one time, and others are more like a practice. Like maybe you start a gratitude journal, or maybe you do start meditating on a regular basis. But just a way to kind of spur your thinking if you need help. Some of these we can't do right now, like get together with friends and go have a coffee with someone. But that emotional connection is also very important. And we have ways now with our current situation, we can make a point to connect with others. So this is very encompassing, but I like to use it as a brainstorming tool with clients.
Awesome. And we'll make that available in the chat if you guys want access, if you want to download that to your device and print that out and look at that a little bit more. It will also be available in the VIP Circle private Facebook group, so you can access it there as well. Cool. What else we got, Tracey?
Yeah, so the other thing I wanted to mention today was just cultivating a positive mindset. We could get bogged down in negative thinking, especially during the times like these that we're in. So I encourage you to think about catching yourself. Do you have that kind of voice going on in your head that's constantly giving you a narrative that does not support you? And that's different for everybody, what the words actually are. But I try to coach people into catching themselves when they have a negative thought pattern that doesn't serve them. So one is just first being conscious of it happening. You almost have to recognize it and be on the lookout for catching yourself. And once you get to that level, often it's amazed how often it occurs, and how repetitive it could be. So once you kind of become conscious of it, it's really about changing the story. So trying to, ask yourself, what is the belief that you have? What are the negative consequences of having that belief? How is it negatively impacting you? And then really trying to turn it into a positive statement. Almost the opposite. If you're constantly repeating in your head a negative statement, how could you turn it around to a positive and repeat that back to yourself? Maybe create some positive affirmations for yourself. And you can repeat them silently. You can put sticky notes where you can see them. It's just there's many ways to try to turn that around. And an example I could use is trying to think of a good example. Sometimes in these times with everything going on, like I would be feeling, oh gosh, I'm a bad mom right now. Like I'm yelling at my kids. I'm not really I might not be, on top of them with the schoolwork like I feel I should be, and you just get this negative thought pattern going. And then is it really true? No, it's not true. How have you been, supportive and well, it's not true. So why not change that around and just, tell yourself, I'm a great mom. I'm going to be an awesome mom today. I'm going to do everything I can, to help my kids, and just turn it around. And that could be applied to so many different examples that we, don't really have time to go through today, but.
I love that, and I think it's one of the most underutilized skill that we can develop for ourselves. I think we come into this world thinking that whatever thoughts are running around through our mind, we are just sort of a slave to those thoughts, that we don't actually have a choice about what's going on up here. And it's like anything else. It's like being in the gym and developing your strength and building a muscle. It takes time and repetition to be able to be, instead of being reactive to negative thoughts or thoughts in general, really just being a watcher and being aware and questioning the thoughts that you do have. That is an absolute skill that most people don't talk about, but is very underutilized and takes time to develop. And so if this is new for you, okay, this concept of being a watcher of your thoughts, that you're not a slave to the thoughts that are going on in your head, that you can actually reprogram your mind to support a positive, healthy lifestyle. I encourage you to go out and, one, reach out to Tracey, because she can help you with that, but also do your own self-study and research on that, because you can completely reprogram your mind and overcome some of the challenges that maybe you thought were barriers to where you want to go with your life. So I'm glad that we're talking about this today, Tracey, because I think it's absolutely powerful and the breakthrough that most people need in their lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Our thoughts drive our reality, and so if we can flip that around, we could really change our reality, and it's really that, it sounds simple and it's challenging to implement, but, it's very powerful if we can turn that around.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds simple, but in practice and in reality, it takes time. Just like I said in the gym, for it like a muscle, you have to develop it. It's repetitions and time that will make you stronger with your mindset and your mentality. I know for myself, growing up, I had mostly an angry mindset and like frustrated. The world's against me, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. And as I got older and started to understand that, like, my circumstances that happen behind me don't dictate what's going to happen to me going forward. So I have control over that. Number two, that those angry thoughts are just thoughts, and I can make a conscious decision about whether I want to buy into them or just let them pass through. So again, if this is a new concept for you, oh my gosh, take hold of it, because it could radically change your life. Radically change your life. Let me look at the Facebook here and see if we got any questions. Someone named Sean O'Neill said, "Great advice, Tracey."
Thank you.
Anybody jumping on here? I don't know. Oh, we do have some questions. From Ron Muse in Atlanta, Georgia. Ron asks, Tracey, how do you keep sleep patterns consistent? Some nights I sleep through the night. This week, my sleep has been choppy. Goes to bed, sleeps for 2 hours, wakes up and stays up for 2 hours, and then back for a few more hours. Hey, that's how I slept last night.
That's been I'm dealing with that off and on as well. And last night, I had a reason for it. My dog got sick, and when it had gotten into my daughter's trash can, and it was coming out over the whole night. So that was pleasant. But yeah, well, one thing I actually just did a challenge on my Facebook page, Live Well with Food, that went through 10 days of practicing sleep strategies, that would be promoting of restful sleep. There's various reasons why one might be waking up in the night, but I would just say, establish a bedtime routine that serves you. Be careful of, eating anything that, is too high in sugar or carbohydrates, or drinking alcohol close to bedtime. That could disturb sleep. Also having, watching your devices, not watching the news before bed. It could depend on your own unique situation, but there are a variety of strategies there. But I would say if you want to go to my page, Live Well with Food, and go through the 10-day sleep challenge that I just posted, there'll be some more in-depth helpful tips there that you can read through and see if that would be helpful to you.
Yep. And I just pinned that in the chat. I encourage everybody to go
Okay.
search on Facebook, Live Well with Food, and you can get more information on Tracey's sleep challenge. Awesome. Ron, thanks for the question. Longtime friend, Tracey, Ron Muse, like 20 years I've been friends. We have a question from, more of a comment from, is it Vernard, Coach Abrams?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So when
My brother-in-law.
oh, okay.
Hey.
Hi. She says, Tracey's super knowledgeable and greatly helped me figure out how I can live better with food with my busy life as a coach. So you're a coach helping coaches.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We all need one.
I believe that strongly. Tell what is there anything different between coaching, to say general population, as opposed to people who are in positions of authority, like a coach that are coaching people?
I think the general underlying strategies and approach is similar, but there may be, sometimes the people of authority or that are coaching could be very emotionally drained because of what they may be experiencing or hearing on a daily basis. So I think it's really supporting, that resiliency to stress and mindfulness and just keeping, again, it's not that much different. It's really about cultivating routines and practices that serve us individually, and that could be different depending on the person and their own unique situation. So you really need to explore that with them and see what will work for them and help them implement it.
Awesome. As I'm looking at the chat, we've got Courtney here. Hi, Courtney. Thanks for jumping on, checking out the video and jumping on the live here. Jennifer, hello. Good to see you on here. Cindy, hello. Michael, thanks for checking it out. There's Sean again. We got Jennifer and Danielle. Thank you guys so much. Maria and Jessica over in Tampa, jumping on the Facebook Live. Ron, Coach Ron is on here as well from Tampa. Vanessa from Fit Body Bootcamp. Hello. Cassandra and Cindy. You've got Caitlin. Ace, what's up, buddy? Carlotta is watching. She says, thank you for sharing your story about your car accident. Very inspirational. Thank you for sharing that, Tracey. Sean, Katie, Christina, Pamela. We've got all sorts of people. Gretchen, Coach Paul McRae with PRS is on here. Patrick and Jessica. Jessica all the way in Seoul, South Korea, Tracey, checking you out. And Tara in Texas. Thank you all for jumping on the live video. Again, continue to post your questions, #live, #replay. Tracey, did you have anything else before we wrap this up?
Just a really quick point, because there was a third point I just wanted to just to highlight really quickly, is being mindful of those negative habits that self-sabotage you. So Ron, I think you and I were talking about whether it's like constant snacking, or for many now it could be alcohol. Really think about how you're feeling in the moment. There's some ways you could help establish whether you're truly hungry or emotionally eating. So there's strategies for recognizing that. And then when it comes to alcohol, that's another way we kind of self-soothe. So tying it all back into the self-care, I try to explore with people, why are you doing this? How does it make you feel? What are you trying to achieve by the consumption of something that you maybe know is not good for you? And trying to think of what else can you do that makes you feel the same way, that's a positive action. So what also will, like, if you're feeling overwhelmed or stressed, bored. Yes.
That's a big one right now. We've got so much time. It's all we've got is inside the four walls of our home. and most of us are getting bored, and we're trying to just fill our time with something, whether it's Netflix or, you know,
Mhm.
Line or Facebook. We're trying to do something because we're bored. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail your thought there.
No, it's true. It's just trying to go back and think about what self-care activities maybe from that wheel, maybe some of what we talked about today could induce the same, you know, um, feeling that you're looking for in a non-negative way. And I know your population and people you coach are probably, they're working out regularly, they're watching what they eat and preparing healthy meals, so you don't want to self-sabotage all that effort by, having a negative habit that doesn't serve you. And I know it's easier said than done. Sometimes tracking, like for me with the alcohol and, when I'm feeling that need, I find that and I don't do it, but I started doing it again. I don't typically on a regular basis track my food intake and calories, but when you're adding in the alcohol in there, you see how that may, impact your total daily amount and, how it may be holding you back from your goals when it comes to fitness and weight loss and things like that. So just wanted to throw that in there as another important point to think about.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Great point. I think alcohol consumption based on my news feed on Facebook is
Yeah.
at a very interesting level. We'll say that.
Mm.
Well, awesome. I really appreciate you doing this, Tracey. Some great information here about how we can kind of manage our time and our emotions and our thoughts as we get into these next couple of weeks. Did you have anything else that you wanted to share?
Just that you can reach me on my Facebook page or also on Instagram at Live Well with Food. I also have a website, livewellwithfood.com. But I do offer a 20-minute free discovery session with people. So if anyone wanted to, dive into how their own unique individual situation, how I might be able to support you during this time, I'd be happy to jump on a call with you to talk about that and offer that up to you. So you can find that as there's links to that on my pages or comment below, and I'll contact you. I can contact you directly.
Yes, many different ways to get in touch with you. I can put you in touch with her as well. And she'll be joining us as part of the 30-day private Facebook group that we have coming up. Don't forget, early bird sign up happening right now. So let me know if you are interested and answer any questions for you. Other than that, Tracey, thank you again. So awesome to talk to you.
You're welcome. Same. Good to see your
Absolutely.
face.
And good to see you as well. Tracey is a former training client of mine as well. So, we have
Yep.
many training sessions together that we've done. So it's good to reconnect with you. You guys enjoy the rest of your Thursday afternoon. Continue to post your questions and comments for Tracey. We'll get that to her. And hope you enjoy the rest of the day. We'll see you next time, guys. Take care.
Great. Take